Namaste. Good morning to everybody. How are you? Very good morning. It's quite chilly and cold here this morning, so it's actually quite appropriate that we're going to be working on Manipura chakra, our third chakra, which is actually related to the fire element. So hopefully we're going to raise the temperature of our body as well during the practice. I'd like to just make sure that Ione can hear me, because I can't see that her sound is switched on. Okay, now yes. Okay, good, great. So before we launch into our class, you can just let me know in the chat box if you have any pain in your body or if you have any strong emotions that I should just bear in mind this morning. And I'd also really like to welcome Pauline Nia. So nice to have you this morning. Great. So we're going to be working on, as you know, the third chakra. So I'm just going to give a very brief little introduction, just see what comes for the people who are not so familiar with this system. So we're talking about the third energy center. So what we can do is actually just feel and touch ourselves a little bit, just to bring some awareness into this space. So you can bring one hand to your navel. Some people don't like their navel being touched. It's actually a very important energy center. In our culture, sometimes we seem to think that when a child is born, we cut the umbilical cord and the navel doesn't have any more use, but it's actually a very powerful energy center, which is recognized within the Ayurvedic medicine. So you can just press very gently on there. And you can just imagine that there's a line which goes from this place back towards the spine. So you can put the other hand behind you and try and localize with your awareness this correspondence between the navel and the vertebra, which is behind. And you can just press slightly on this vertebra, and you can close your eyes and just feel that you're just stimulating very gently these two spots. And then you can release your hands, keep your eyes closed, but you can feel the residual sensation there. And I'd like you to just do some psychic breathing, which means you breathe as if you're breathing between these two spots. As you breathe in, bring the energy from your navel in towards the back. And as you breathe out, move the energy from the back point in through the navel. Imagining this very subtle channel which joins the flowering of the chakra in the navel area, but the root of this chakra which lies in its contact with the central column. So you can do it a couple more times, just bringing some awareness into that space. Okay, and when you want to, you can open your eyes. So this is the area we want to be bringing our awareness to. And we can just think that we as we did look at in our previous series with the elements, that this center is very much related to the fire element. And this fire element is so important for our digestion. And also with protecting our body, it's this area which is to do with fighting. And this fighting can be seen in our immune system. So this capacity to actually fight against disease, which is why it's so important to really build the energy in this space. So it's good for our health. But also this fighting, we can see it's very much an element of our psychology. And we also need this capacity to confront situations and actually just push through our own personal resistance and laziness quite often, which is related to this chakra when it's out of balance. So we're going to really bring in this quality of our inner strength. And the animal, which is an archetype for this chakra, is the ram. The ram is this the masculine sheep. And if you've ever seen the ram fighting with its horns, it's actually a very vicious animal. It's really, they really come together. We have that loggerhead idea. So this is the energy of this chakra, which when it's channeled well is actually an enormous power. But as we know, when it's out of control, it can lead to violence and it can also lead to domination. So it's a very sensitive chakra. So we're going to just really kind of explore it and define for ourselves what is it that we need to bring into this chakra at this moment. Maybe you are feeling it's more on a physical level and you need to bring in some strength and actually feel maybe your digestive system. Or maybe you really feel that you are avoiding some issues and that you need to have the inner strength to actually get over that hurdle. So we can bring for this practice our own personal purpose, our own personal resolution into the practice, which is always nice. Yeah. Good. So I don't feel to go too much more into the theory. We're just going to do a class which hopefully is matching everyone's level. It's not going to be a very demanding class. But as always, please just be very kind to your body, respect your limits, and just go in as deep as the body would allow in this particular moment. Okay, great. So let's get ready. I'm going to plug in. Yeah, I'm going to plug in my microphone so I can go a little bit further back. Take off my big woolly socks. So we're going to begin in a standing position. And just separate your feet slightly. Keep your feet in a parallel position. Relax the shoulders. Create a quality of opening and trust within your body-mind. And you can really root the feet into the earth, taking some good deep breaths. And as you breathe out, just really allowing any tension in the body to be released down through the legs and into the feet and into the ground. And just be very aware of what the body is showing you in this moment. What is your current energy level? Just so you can really work from this present moment without a mental projection, but really consulting deeply with your body initially. And you can raise your awareness up towards the top of the head and just really lift and stretch up, growing in your posture. Just being very aware of these two energies. One is this very great force of gravity, which keeps us stuck onto the surface of the planet. But the other is the force of grace, which actually is uplifting and allows us to stand upright. So we're going to find the balance between this pushing into the earth and the lifting up towards the sky, and really recognizing our body as a channel which allows us to really combine these two forces in our own inner alchemy. Great. And just acquire a very positive and state of mind. And you can drop slowly your head towards the chest and really release the weight of the head. It's this weight of the head which actually begins to elongate the whole of the back channel, this chain of muscles. And slowly you can begin to rotate your head. And we're going to combine this rotation with the breath, so you can breathe in comfortably during the first half of the circle and breathe out during the second half. And just keep the shoulders relaxed. And make sure there's no tension in the jaw, allowing the mouth to open as you go backwards. And after this circle, you can change direction. Be very present within the body, opening up the space of the neck, which is like the passageway which joins the body and the head, the mind and the body. And after this circle, you can come back into the center. If you're not dizzy, keep your eyes closed and take a very deep breath through the nose. And just be very aware of the sensations which arise, not only in the throat and the neck area, but also near the ears and the whole head, allowing yourself to be more present. Good. And you can begin to raise and lower your shoulders alternately. Start very slowly and really feel how the spine is beginning to move in a serpent-like fashion. Feel the vertebrae opening and feel this very fluid energy begin to come into the spine. Go a little bit faster, deepen the breath, and release the breath through the mouth so you can release any emotional tension which has built up within your body, within your tissues. Release any of the cobwebs of the night, anything that the subconscious mind has been processing during the night. Just let it all go. We are in autumn, so in the same way as the wind shakes the trees, allowing them to let go of their leaves, in the same way, shake the body and just allow anything which needs to fall just to drop away. Good. You can go a little bit more slowly now. Come back into your center. Keep your eyes closed unless you're dizzy. Take a nice deep breath through the nose. And just become fully aware of the sensations. Be aware of the spine, the back. And then you can extend your awareness to feel the vibration persist in the whole of the body. And cultivate an awareness of the space outside of the body. Feeling how the consciousness expands into the subtle. Great. So you can separate your feet a little bit more, bend the knees a little bit, and bring some awareness to the pelvic area. Just bring the pubic bone slightly forward. In this way, you can really activate the abdominal muscles. Keep this area tight, like your seat belt, as it were. The arms are stretched out towards the side. And you're going to just twist round from one direction to the other. And you can begin to introduce a bit more strength. If the body agrees with this, if you're feeling delicate, then you can go a lot more slowly. And lift the sternum up a little bit higher so you can feel that this twist is also opening the chest. Go a little bit more gently and slowly drop the arms until you stop in a very organic way. Releasing the pelvis, coming back in towards your center, eyes closed. Take a good deep breath through the nose. And once again, just observe that the residue of this movement still persists. And just wait for this, the subtle body to calm and the energy to sediment as you identify the sensations as they arise. But without identifying with them, without analyzing, just be fully aware of the sensations that arise, embracing what comes. Great. You can join the feet together now. And you can interlace your fingers. Turn the palms downwards and bring the hands above your head. And in this posture, you can really root the heels into the ground. Bring once again the pubic bone forward. Activate your buttocks. Stretch up the sides of the torso. Stretch the palms up towards the sky, joining the thumbs. Take a good breath, in-breath there. And as you breathe out, just let yourself go down towards the right side. Don't force, just as far as the body allows in this moment. Breathing in, lifting up, and breathing out, dropping to the other side in this movement, which we call Tiryakatarasana, which means the swaying palm tree. So you can really feel this movement. And just be very aware at the same time of how much movement the body allows in each side. You probably find that there may be a difference between your left and your right side. Just become aware of this polarity. Never forcing. Each movement is fresh and new, exploring the continual changes in the possibilities of the body. Keeping the abdomen awake. And you're going to finish the round that you're doing. Breathe in, come back into your center. Breathe out, drop the arms, separate the feet. Relax fully in your position, your central position, Madhyasana. And just breathe very gently. Just allow the body to breathe as spontaneously, but center your awareness in towards the navel area. Bringing your attention into Manipura. And the name of this center means the city of jewels. So you can really begin to visualize this inner jewel that progressively we will be polishing in this practice. Good. And you can just kind of honor this jewel by joining your fingertips and your index fingers and your thumbs so that you can place over your navel area this mudra, this posture with the hands, which is actually like an inverted triangle. Just feel the heat from your hands. And this inverted triangle is in fact the geometric shape which is related to Agni Tattva, which means the fire element. So we're just kind of printing this message on towards our abdomen to encourage Agni, this god of fire, to be present within us. Fantastic. So we're going to continue mobilizing this area with an exercise which is in an introduction, as it were, to Uddiyana Bandha. So I'm going to come a little bit closer with my mic. So basically, in this practice, we're going to place our hands on our knees. And we're going to breathe out through the mouth, just releasing all of the air, as much air as we can. And without breathing in, we're going to absorb the belly inwards and upwards. Yeah? And we're going to let it go out and bring it in. Just a couple of times until you need to breathe in. When you leave the belly out, you breathe in through your nose. And then we repeat. So I'll just go through that again. Breathe out through your mouth, release all of the air. Without breathing in, absorb the belly in and out. In and out. And continue until you need to breathe in. When you need to breathe in, make sure the belly is out. Breathe in through your nose. And repeat. Breathe out through the mouth. Release all of the air. And really draw the navel inwards and upwards and out a few times until the body says, I need to breathe in. So then you leave the belly out. You breathe in through the nose. You can sustain the in-breath for a few seconds and repeat. So each one modifying the rhythm according to their capacities in this moment. Let's do one more round. Just going to show a little bit of my belly in case anyone needs to see it. And when you finish this round, you can come back. Just be careful if you feel a bit dizzy. Keep your eyes open if you feel dizzy. And just breathe very spontaneously and be aware of the energy that's moving in the abdominal area. As we've been lifting this whole area, you'll also maybe notice, if you're more sensitive, that the energy is actually rising up towards your head. But concentrate your attention for this, our purpose, into the abdominal area, into the area of the navel. Just being aware of what comes up for you. And beginning to feel this fiery element within your belly. Good. So this energy center is also very much related with the legs and the feet. These are its action organs, as it were, in the same way as when we have this fight or flight mechanism. So this like flight is actually running away. So this is very much related to this chakra. So what we're going to do is activate our legs and these lower joints. So you can bring your feet close together without them touching. Keep your eyes open, look forward. And as you breathe in, come up onto your toes, stretching out the arms. Your abdomen and your buttocks are active. Just really feel the strength in your legs. Now, as you breathe out, don't lower the heels, but you can begin to bend your knees, keeping your arms and your sides of your body stretched upwards as if you're hanging from the ceiling. Don't go down all the way if your knees are delicate. And as you breathe in, control as you come up, keep your balance, lift up the heels, activate the belly, and then finally lower the heels, bend the knees and drop the arms. We're going to repeat. Breathe in, come up onto the tips of your toes. The whole of the body is like an arrow. And as you breathe out, without dropping the heels, slowly come down, bringing this strength also in towards your legs. Breathe in, pushing up, keep your balance. Really activating the whole of the body before you lower your heels and bend and relax. Final time, in your own time. And when you finish, you can separate your feet, coming back into your center. Close your eyes and breathe fully. And just be aware of this relation between the feet and the legs and the belly. And you can cover your navel with your right palm of your hand. Place the other hand on top. And just really concentrate the energy in towards this space for a moment. settling the breath, and concentrating this energy, contemplating it as building up your inner strength. Great. So at this point in the class, we could actually do a few rounds of the sun salutation, which would be a very interesting sequence to combine here. But today I wanted to concentrate on some specific postures. But I do mention it just in case you're using the recording at some point and you want to just put the recording in pause here and do a few rounds of Surya Namaskar, of the sun salutation. Today I'd like to concentrate a little bit more on the triangle postures. So we're going to look at two variations of the triangle postures, but really bringing some energy into this central area. So we're first going to begin with one which is a little bit smaller in its range of movement, but really brings a lot of energy into this area. So the feet are in parallel, and you can be quite generous with the separation between your feet. And as you separate your feet, just be aware of what happens in your pelvis. It's quite common that the spine arches in this posture, which is what we want to avoid. So you can bring consciously the pubic bone forward, dropping the coccyx down towards the ground. And you can imagine that the coccyx is actually like a third rooting element, even though it's on a subtle level. So that lifting of the pubic bone is automatically bringing some energy or some possibility of activating the abdominal muscles. So we're going to really be aware of that during the posture on a physical level. We can breathe in and lift the arms up towards the sides and stretch the hands out, really, really separating them so you can really feel the energy passing through the chest area. Good. Take a nice deep breath, and as you breathe out, just stretch the right arm forward without losing this position in the pelvis. Begin to drop the right hands down towards the leg. As you can see, I'm not inclining excessively. Lift the left arm up towards the sky. The hand is still pointing outwards. And as you can really expand in this posture, it's an expansive posture, which means the energy initially comes from the center of the body outwards, through the arm, through the legs, anchoring you, expanding you. Great. And as you find this posture, this triangular pose, you can then begin to channel the energy, which means it becomes more of a yin movement of absorbing the energy in towards your center. So I just invite you to really kind of draw up the energy from the earth through the legs up to the left side of your belly. And at the same time, you can draw the cosmic energy down through the left hand and bringing it also into the left side of the torso. You can even absorb the pelvic floor, activating the pelvic floor muscles as you really feel you're drawing everything in to activate this side of the body. And just be aware that you're not collapsing onto the right leg. You can test yourself by separating the right hand from the leg. And this helps you find your inner alignment and your greater strength on a psychic level without depending on any external support, finding your inner strength. Good, that's enough for today. Breathe in, lift up the trunk towards its center. Breathe out, lower the arms. Bring your feet back towards the center, close your eyes, breathe. And just be very aware of what arises. Be aware of the left side of the trunk, the left side of the abdomen. And just cultivate this recognition of your own inner strength. And you can compare the sensations with the right side of the body, just creating a greater awareness, refining your perception before we move on to the other side to balance out. So once again, we're going to separate the feet and adjust the position of the pelvis to start bring the pelvic bone forward, anchoring, and really absorbing the muscles in the pelvic floor and the abdomen. And this is really protecting this whole area of the lumbar region. If you do have any lumbar issues, really just hold on tight in this area, and you don't need to incline quite as far. Good. Breathe in, lift the arms up, separate the arms so you can really feel this opening also in the chest area. As you breathe out, lengthen towards your left side, slowly dropping the left hand towards the left leg, lifting the right arm up towards the vertical position, and keep on absorbing the abdomen, absorbing the pelvic floor. And once you've really found this posture, making any small adjustments that you need, you can come into stillness and awareness. And it's in this still space that you can begin to use your intention to really draw the earth and the sky energies in towards the body, bringing them into the right side of the belly, stimulating this inner strength. Remember, you don't need to touch the leg with the left hand. You can separate it and just really recognize the self-sustaining power. And don't restrict the breath. The breath is helping the energy move within the geometry of your posture. And don't force either. If you need to come out before I indicate, please do so. Good, that's enough for today. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, drop the arms, bring the feet together. And just be very aware of the sensations. Feel how the changes are manifesting within you. Be aware of the right side of the abdomen, the energy that's concentrating and flowing into this point. Good, and we can use the same mudra as we used before. So we're going to join the index fingers and the thumbs over without touching, unless you particularly want to touch, the center of the belly, and just really unifying and balancing out the energy that we've stimulated on both sides. And maybe you can also visualize at the same time a bright red inverted triangle, the symbol of the fire element. Good. Okay, so we're going to continue by exploring another triangle pose, Trikonasana. And this variation, I'm actually going to suggest you do it with a wall, because I can't be there to check your alignment. So the wall is going to be your teacher in this particular practice. So you can, if you're not close to a wall, maybe you just want to take in the information and incorporate in your practice, or you can imagine you have a wall if it's actually not practical because of the furniture that you have right now. So You're going to come up close to your wall and you're going to separate your feet as we have already done. And just as you do so, you're probably going to be very aware of the shape of your back. So once again, the idea is to drop the buttocks down, bring the pubic bone forward. And although you still have a separation in the lumbar spine, you will notice that there's less space there. So from there, you're going to turn the right foot outwards. You don't have to have the foot touching the wall. So you need to have your stability, obviously. And you can turn the left foot slightly inwards, but you're still really feeling that the back is up in contact with the wall, okay? And you can see what happens in your hips. It's very easy for the right hip to drop down, but we're going to try and keep the hips at the same level. You can put your hands on your hips just to make sure of that. And now you can lift the arms up to the height of the shoulder. Take an in-breath, and as you breathe out, just stretch over towards the right side, already feeling that you're engaging the left side of the body. And then from there, you can drop down. And maybe your hand will come to the space just below the knee. And you can lift up the left arm up towards the vertical position. And once again, breathe into the left side of the abdomen. Breathing comfortably. Keeping the belly active. And with the next in-breath, lift up. Breathe out, turn the feet forward, drop the arms. Come away from the wall, especially if the wall is cold. And take a nice deep breath and just be very aware of the effects of this greater opening in the left side of the belly, the energy which is flooding in. Good, so let's have a look at that. This alternative, this variation to the posture now. On the other side, separate your feet and bring your back up towards the wall. Maybe your heels are touching, maybe a little bit separate depending on the proportions of your body, the size of your body. And just really lower the buttocks, bring the pubic bone forward. Feel how the lumbar area is closer to the body and the abdomen is engaged. The muscles are toned in the abdomen. And you can lift up the arms towards the height of the shoulders, turning the left foot out, the right foot slightly out. And the right hip can separate from the wall, but keep the hips at the same level. So if you need to put the hands down to make sure before lifting them up again, please do so. And take an in-breath as you take an out-breath, stretch towards the left side and then drop down without collapsing in the pelvis and the abdomen. The pubic bone still coming forward. Make any small adjustments. And once you find the pose, once again, the breath will help guide the prana. Really bringing this opening into the left side of the abdomen, the right side of the abdomen. And really push all against the right foot to bring structure into the pelvis. And that's enough for today. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, turn the foot, drop the arms, come back into your center. Take a good breath. Be aware of the effects. And also be aware of the quality of breath now, how this opening of this area is actually allowing the breath to come into balance. So I'm going to invite you to come down and towards a sitting position now. I might come a little bit closer even. And we're going to practice Chakichalasana. So in this dynamic movement, we're really bringing some energy into not only the third chakra, but all three chakras, but it's also helping us to activate and strengthen this area. So you can come a little bit forward, because if you're like me, you tend to move backwards during this movement. So begin in Dandasana, sitting nicely on your sitting bones, and just really feel that we've been standing up and finding this vertical axis, but now we're sitting down and we're also finding it as if the sitting bones were our feet, so lengthening up in the spine. Good. So for this exercise, we're going to interlace the fingers. We're going to push the palms out and bring the arms above the head, just to really open up into the thoracic area. And as we breathe out, come down as if you were doing Paschimottanasana. But instead of staying there, we're going to breathe in, and you're going to move slightly over towards the right foot. And as you breathe in, draw your body backwards, moving on the right side, cross over the center. And as you breathe out, push the energy down the left leg, crossing over the feet, breathing in, drawing up the right side, breathing out, pushing down the left side. So continue with this elongated circular movement. Depending on the strength of your abdominal muscles, you'll be able to lie further back or not. Find your own speed. Make sure your heels don't leave the floor as you go backwards. Be aware of the abdominal area that we're activating. Coordinate with your breath. And that's enough in this side. As you reach the feet, breathe in, lift the arms above the head again. And breathe out, lower down, and move in the opposite direction. Drawing up the left side, pushing down the right side. Engaging the belly. Coordinating with your breath. Feeling this inner massage. The translation of this posture is the churning of the butter. Perhaps alluding to the churning of the fattiness that we accumulate in this area. Just really mobilizing the energy in the abdominal area. A couple more. And let's now breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, relax the arms. And just come into a comfortable position for your observation phase. Close your eyes, be aware of the breath. And bring the attention down in towards the belly. Be aware of this movement, this churning, which is so much part of the digestive process. You have your pulse of the inner heat. And it's really also helping with the apana vayu, the downward moving energy, which you may also need for elimination. Good, so you can lie down for the next exercise and take this opportunity just to relax, to release in Shavasana, and be aware of your breath in the abdomen. If you've accumulated any tension, just release the air through the mouth. Using the voice if you need to. No one's going to hear you from this side. Good. So we're going to move on to the next exercise. We're going to work with Nabhyasana, which is translated as the posture for the navel. So it's directly working on this energy. Just be very careful if you do have any lumbar spine delicacies. So what we're going to do in this posture, maybe you want to watch it first if it's new for you. We're going to combine with a fire breath as well. So when we breathe in, we're going to lift up the head only. And when we breathe out, we're going to lift up the legs and bringing the lumbar spine as close to the ground as possible. We're going to lift up the arms with just the thumbs sticking out. And we're going to do some fire breath in the belly. Keeping the lower spine, keeping the lumbar area as close to or touching the ground. And when we need to, we can drop down. We're going to lift up the arms above the heads to breathe in. And then we're going to release. We're going to do that several times. Okay? So just keep the lumbar area touching the ground. If you need to lift the legs higher, just really to keep that area supported, okay? So let's begin together. Breathe in, lift the head up, breathe out, lift the legs up, really rooting the lumbar area in towards the ground. Lift up the arms, the thumbs stick upwards, and from there you can begin to breathe through the nose, pumping the belly. Lower the legs, breathe in, arms above the head, breathe out through the mouth. Bring the arms back towards the sides, take a rest. If you want, you can place a hand on the belly. We're just going to prepare ourselves for another round. I'm going to repeat myself and just remind you to keep the lower spine, the lumbar area, pulled in towards the ground in the final posture. And really just respect your body here. So let's breathe in, lift the head up, breathe out, lift the legs up, rooting the lumbar area, hands ready, fire breath. You can go. Lower the legs, lift up the arms above the head, breathing in deeply and breathe out through the mouth. Arms to the sides, relax with the palms facing upwards. Breathe naturally. Good, and I'm going to invite the ones who are up for it to do a final round. If it's a little bit intense for you, you can maybe just do the same with the feet on the ground. If you want to work a little bit more gently in this final round. Breathe in, lift the head up, breathe out, legs, rooting the lumbar area. Let's begin. Lower the legs, breathe in, arms above the head. Breathe out, release through the mouth. Arms to the sides, release, relax. Close your eyes. Feel the expansion on the belly as you breathe in. How the navel drops down towards the back of the spine on the outward breath. And you can just relax the lower spine by hugging your knees in towards your chest. And if you want, you can make any rocking movements, anything that spontaneously allows you to find comfort within your body. So we're going to go for one more posture. So when you're ready, you can roll over and come up onto your knees. So this is also a bit of a demanding posture, but this, as we know, this is all about strength. Strength doesn't come without working for it. You know, we can't just expect it to happen. Maybe there's other qualities which can arise more spontaneously, but we need to cultivate the strength. And it's like communicating to the universe. If I want strength, I have to also take 2 steps myself. So with that in mind, we are going to practice what we call Santulanasana, which is I can't think of the word in English right now, the plank, that's it, the plank pose. So we're going to do this pose, but really be aware of the placement of the body, just so we can really protect the body and get the maximum out of it. So in this posture, we're going to be drawing the energy up through the hands and through the feet in towards the navel. We want to make sure that the pelvis doesn't droop down towards the ground. So I even actually prefer the buttocks to be slightly lifted, but really ensure that the pubic bone is coming forward so the abdominal muscles are tensed up nicely. So let me just show that. And you can come into the posture with me if you want, or if you want to first watch and then do it yourself, you also can. We're going to place the hands under the shoulders. And from here, we're going to straighten up, okay? So I'm going to push forward, so my weight is a little bit over the tips of the hands. As you can see, my buttocks are slightly lifted, and I'm going to draw my pelvis forward, activating my buttocks, but I'm also going to lift my sternum forward. My gaze is a little bit in front of me, and I'm going to sustain that posture. So let's do it together. Rooting the hands, drawing the energy up through the hands, through the feet and the legs. And you can actually just close the back of the throat. So you're breathing in Ujjayi, which means you're doing this warrior's breath, which is allowing you to control a little bit more. It's like your Darth Vader breath. Squeeze the buttocks. Welcome any shaking. Drop your knees down to the floor. Sit back, bring your forehead down towards the ground, arms toward the sides, and release. Breathe out through the mouth. And then slowly, when you feel like it, you can come back towards a sitting posture. Keep the eyes closed. And just be very aware of the energy which is flowing into the body. And you can find a cross-legged position if that's comfortable for you. Straighten out your spine. Still very much connected with this energy in the abdomen. And I'd like you to place your right hand over the navel and your left hand on top. And just be aware of the pulse. And you can deepen your breath through your nose. Feeling that the abdomen expands outwards as you breathe in. How the abdomen contracts as you breathe out, drawing the navel in towards this special point at the back of the spine. And we're just going to combine this abdominal breath with a little bit of kumbhaka, which means retention, but without forcing. So as you breathe in and you fill the lungs, just sustain the outward breath, but not by tensing the body, as if the body was showing its own limits, but mentally you continue breathing inwards towards eternity. And just be very aware of the pulse, how the energy of the body becomes greater, more expanded. When you need to release the energy, let the air escape between the lips. Drawing the navel inwards, using your abdominal muscles to bring the abdomen backwards. The navel wants to touch the spine. Good, let's repeat. Breathe in through the nose, expanding your belly outwards. Getting the maximum air into the body. Sustain this. Keep this energy inside, concentrating it inside you. But be comfortable and relaxed in this retention. There doesn't need to be any tightness. Feel this inner energy and strength magnify within you. Don't force, but recognize that you can actually be quite comfortable. when the body needs to, you can begin to release the air through the mouth, and at the same time draw the belly inwards. Bring the navel in towards the root of the chakra in the spine. And I'm just going to let you do a few more rounds by yourself. Please continue at your own speed. And as you finish this final repetition, you can drop the hands, and from stillness, just be aware of what is being shown to you. Just watching what comes up from this all-encompassing silence, from this quality of presence that you are. I'm just going to invite you to close this practice with a short relaxation. So please find a comfortable position for relaxing. You can lie on your back in Shavasana, or if you're particularly comfortable in a seated position and you'd like to finish your practice as a meditation, you're most welcome also. And maybe Jorge, as I can see you are sitting, can you just tell me if you can hear the music that I put on, and if you can, if it's okay? Okay, thank you. So you can come into your quiet posture, lying or sitting. And just recognize that you can release all effort. Allow yourself to use the out breath as a guide, as a way of releasing. Allowing the body to dissolve. Allowing the mind to expand.
entering into the realm of unlimited possibilities. And as the body is surrendered to the earth, may this consciousness of the unlimited potential be recognized. And in releasing all identification with the body, with form, there can be a recognition of existence in its most profound and fulfilling presence. Allowing this truth of existence to nurture every particle of our being. Reconnecting us with Source. Reconnecting our umbilical cord. With this higher consciousness. I just invite you to reconnect with the subtle breath. This rising and this falling of the belly. This expanding and contracting. Recognizing that life is breathing into this body. Its own particular melodious vibration. So as you reconnect with the body, just honor this vehicle for consciousness. Allowing life's purpose to breathe into your heart. And just condensing and nurturing every cell of your body. And just extend your awareness with the out breath in towards your extremities as you come more fully into the body. And if you're lying down, I just invite you to start moving your fingers and your toes before rolling over to one side and coming back up to a sitting position. So we're just going to close this practice singing together the sacred mantra Om 3 times. So you can join your hands together in Pranamudra, honoring the space that we share, visualizing all the members of this class sitting together in a circle, appreciating the presence of each one and what each one is bringing to this space in this co-creative space. Om. 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much for sharing this practice this morning. It's a great pleasure. I wish all of you a wonderful day. I would like to chat, but unfortunately we have gone over time a little bit, and I have to slip into another meeting with some students from the training. So if you do have any questions or comments about the practice, please send me a message privately or in the little group that we have, and we will see each other next week. Take care. Love and light to you all.